We just realized we hadn't hit record yet, so we are kicking it off, celebrating each and every one of you for your achievements, your goals hit, all the things for the month of March. Let's double that up. Let's really run in April. Okay, Katie. Hello, good morning. I freaking love you. Okay, so let's roll, yeah, there you go, unmute. Let's talk about what do you do for a brand new month? How are you kicking off April for yourself and for your team?
Literally keeping the same momentum that we ended with, right? Like I try to channel my inner month end madness. That feeling that you feel month end, right? Like I gotta get this last person in, one more person. I'm this close, I'm that close, this person's that close. Like why do we turn that off on the first? You know what I'm saying? Or like maybe not even the first, but a week into the month we turn it off. We're so excited on the first, we're so excited on the second, we're carrying over that momentum, and then someone maybe falls a little bit behind. Like they see like the first week of the month and they're a little bit behind for their goal, or they haven't hit their goal yet, or they haven't earned a bonus, and they're like, they let off the gas. My kids are so loud. I'm so sorry. Mom life. So they let off the gas after a week, and like my biggest thing is don't do that. Don't do that. If you're $1,000 behind for your rank, or you're a little bit behind for your PTA bonus, or you haven't earned one yet, and stop. Don't let off the gas. Carry it in. Number one, how you end a month is how you start a month. So if you're one of those people that ended last month and you were like, I'm so far away. What? Hang on one second. You might not care, but I care. It's like throwing me off. They're screaming in the kitchen. They're getting along, but very loudly.
No, but you know what? It's that thing, you hear it more than we do. And it's like that,
Yes.
like when you go to church and you have babies and everybody's like, oh, it's okay if your baby cries. And I'm like, like
I
you're
see the
in that.
baby in front of me cry. We have a brand new baby that sits in front of me, and I'm like, oh, and then mine cried. I'm like, what is wrong?
Well, and like as the mom, you're like, shh, shh, and you're not getting your fill and
I
you're
know,
stressed
yeah.
out and you're worried
And you
about
guys
everybody
probably
around
can't
you.
even hear them the way that I can, but it's throwing me off. Okay, so starting the month the way that you ended one, right? And so if you ended last month with your foot off the gas because you were discouraged, or you were you fell short from your goal, you're gonna start the same way. Don't let that be you. Keep the momentum. I've always told our team, like, work every single day like it's the last day of the month and you are inches away from that goal, whatever it may be, and operate out of that. I always say in my 14 days, it's a new 14 days. I'm always trying to VIP myself, even if I'm not eligible for a bonus, because hello, 2 customers, 2 promoters. Like we can all do that in 14 days. Sometimes I do it and sometimes I don't. And if I don't, that's okay. I just pick back up on day one all over again and I start all over again. I think the key here is just, I know people roll their eyes when I say consistency, but it's consistency, and it's showing up with the same fire every single day. You can't go back at my page ever. I will give you a crisp $100 bill if you can go back to my page and tell me when my hard seasons were. You can't do it. You can't do it, because whether we were doing $300,000 a month in team sales, or barely scratching 200, or the months where we were only maintaining 80K and whatever, I've never showed up differently. I've never showed up differently. I've never lied. Of course, I share my ups and downs, but I've always showed up with the same excitement. I've always stayed consistent and done what works. Stop trying to reinvent the wheel. What works is getting people on Thrive, getting samples out, and getting them free accounts and getting them through the funnel, plugging them into your customer pages and checking up on them. That works. We need to stop trying to reinvent and think that it's better than that. What's been working for the last 10 years is still working.
Right. And I love, so the consistency thing, and I know you said people roll their eyes, but one thing, and Roxy kind of hit on it last week when we interviewed her, is what are you being consistent in? So like, if you're like, oh, I'm doing all the things, I'm consistent. If I go look at your page, is it going to look consistent to me? Are you consistently posting the right things? Are you consistently doing the right IPAs? And then also sometimes, and I'll compare this, like sometimes it's easier to understand, like compare it to like changing your eating or working out at the gym. Some people, they can do all that for 6 months and they don't see a difference. And some chick shows up and she's like 30 days in, 6-pack abs. You're like, what the hell? But like, It is, everybody is different. So everything is different. And so it's month 7 that she didn't give up, that she starts to see the changes, right? So don't, like you said, reinventing the wheel. I see too much. People will do something for a couple weeks or 30 days and they're like, well, it's not working. That doesn't work for my people. That doesn't work for my audience. That doesn't work for me. I'm going to do it a different way. And that didn't work either. So like,
And
don't.
I've always said too is to give something 6 months. Like, don't just do something for a couple of weeks and say it doesn't work. 6 months. If you want to try doing opportunity lives once a week, commit to it for 6 months. If you're gonna try to do X, Y, or Z locals, commit to it for 6 months. There was a girl on our team years ago. It was January 1st. I remember her and I had commit to sharing an opportunity story in our stories every single day. It was like you and I, 6 months, every single day, that opportunity is going in our stories. And I love her to death, but she didn't stay consistent with it. And you know, I've told this story before. She's totally okay with it, by the way. She didn't stay consistent with it, and I did. Okay, now mind you, this was 6 months, January to June. In July of that year, I enrolled 43 promoters on a pack. 43 on a pack. Now they weren't free, they ordered packs, 43. And she messaged me and she said, what the hell are you doing? And I said, the very thing we agreed to do that you stopped doing. I gave it 6 months. And in month 7, it was like, okay, that was our biggest month ever. So stay the course. And if after 6 months, you're like, I'm not seeing the results, like literally no growth, maybe pivot, maybe reach out to your upline or your sponsor and get, okay, like, can we audit? Like, you know, what are you doing? What can I do? But give it 6 months.
And be honest with yourself. Like,
Yes.
this is huge. Be honest with yourself. Are you, oh, I did this for 6 months. Okay, but did you? Like,
Did you really? Yeah.
self-assessment, because I'll tell you, like, I know where my dips are. I
Mhm.
know where my slow times are. I know where I drop the ball, and I can go back and I can go, oh yeah, that was all on me.
Yeah.
I have not recently. I had dropped the ball in like adding new people, adding new friends, and I see where that's affecting me. That's affecting my growth.
Yeah.
And so I can look back. And so guys, this is where tracking comes in, and writing it down, doing a spreadsheet, whatever works for you. I can look back and go, there's where my momentum slowed up.
Yeah.
So same for Katie, like the posting, you know, it caught up and was like, everybody's seeing it, seeing it, seeing it. It takes a while for people to see it. You know, it's like you drive by the same billboard for 7 years and all of a sudden one day you're like, oh, I want that. Like,
I've driven by something before and I'm like with Tony and I'm like, when did that get there? And he's like, that's always been there.
mhm,
It's literally always been there. So
it's the
I love
same.
that. Yeah. And another thing too is someone said something once. I don't remember who, so I can't give credit. If y'all know, you can put it in the chat. It was a training. She said doing your IPAs is like building a puzzle, right? If you want to see the whole entire picture, you need every single piece, right? And every single piece of your IPAs, it's, you know, are you interacting, growing your network, going live, getting people on Thrive, like everything that we know how to do it. There's no secret sauce. Like Amber and I are not holding back like this top secret, like super awesome, like how do you hit the top of the company yet? No, it's I mean, we all know how to do it. If you've ever seen an IPA list, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1's in your back office, that's it. But you have to do all of it. You can't just go, well, you know, I'm only gonna post and not do lives because lives make me uncomfortable. Or I'm only gonna share my stories. I'm only gonna share my products and my stories, but like I'm not gonna post because I don't want my friends to judge me. Listen, there are people who only consume certain types of content. Okay, so like for me, I can read a post all day long. I will never watch a 20-minute live video. I won't do it. That's not the kind of like content that speaks out to me. But there are people out there who will scroll past every single one of your posts and then stop to watch your video, right? There are people who only scroll reels. There are people who only go through stories. There are people who only consume videos. And so if you're not putting content out there in every kind of way, you are missing a massive network. I'm telling you, for those of y'all that are on here, because I know there's always some people who are only sharing in your stories. Let me tell you, when I started, we didn't have stories. We didn't have stories. So I was going live and I was posting and I was mass
I
enrolled.
didn't have lives.
Yeah, like
We had to do a video and post the video.
I remember being in my first company and I had to record it on my phone and then post it. And like, it was a little easier back then because you could always redo it if you sounded stupid. And now when it's live, it's like YOLO, right? So, but we didn't have those. And so when I first started, we were posting. I was posting, I was going live. Everything that I had to share was in a post. Like that's how you got it out there. And so if you're only in your stories and you're not posting, how big of a reach are you missing out on? And vice versa. If you're not in your stories, you're missing out. You're not going live, you're missing out. Your
Yeah.
business to be a Lavelle millionaire, I keep saying 200K, but now it's like 1 million VIP is the new top rank. To be that, you to see the big picture, and that doesn't have to be your big picture. Your big picture could be earning the auto bonus and paying off some credit cards. Your big picture could be losing 50 pounds and thriving for free. I don't care. Everyone's picture. Oh, we're all building different puzzles, but just regardless of your puzzle, you need all the pieces.
Well, and on top of that, so because I said, I mean, I think it's been a couple years now that I did this like poll, and I'd asked in my stories, and I also asked in my feed, who watches stories, who watches posts, literally my audience is half and half. My Facebook audience is half and half on stories and post. There are a lot, and I mean, they're my age and their business isn't social media. And so they're like, what's a story? Like either they don't have the bubbles, they don't see the bubbles, they scroll past the bubbles. I don't know, but they do not click those.
Yep.
And so when people say, "Oh, only put your product in your stories and talk normal life in your feed," I'm like, "Don't do that." Like you have to have an even mix because of the people that aren't in stories and vice versa, the people
And
that aren't
can
in
we
posts.
please just like, can we collectively agree that the days of attraction marketing are gone? Like, please, like, amen. Okay, so
There's attraction, though, I will say, not
like, no, like,
attraction marketing, but
bringing
there is
people in.
attract people to you.
Yeah, yeah, it's like you want to be
To get new
relatable.
people.
You know, I share funny things and relatable
Mhm.
things and things that are, people can conversate on and get interaction with. Like, I'm not just like a, thrive robot. Like, I do share me and my kids, and I go live with like, just get ready with me. I'm a person, and people know my
Yeah.
personality, but I'm not like hiding the name of my product. I'm not talking about like this online business. Like, I'm not afraid to say thrive. I'm not afraid to say, I partnered with a health and wellness company. No, I partnered with Lavelle, and I'm proud of that, right? Like, I'm just proud of that. And so if we're over here trying to hide what we're doing, like thinking, oh, I'm just going to like tiptoe in and tiptoe my business, and people are going to ask me about it, not always going to be the case. No, like be loud and proud about what you have. There are the top enrollers in this company are sharing their capsules on their story. They're sharing their, reels about their products on their stories. The millionaires in this company are talking about Lavelle, not network marketing, but Lavelle and
I just
Thrive.
posted Boost in my feed.
And success leaves clues. Success leaves clues. Find these people who are where you want to be and not copy them. Like, don't be them, but emulate what they're doing. And I guarantee 9 out of 10 of them are sharing proudly on their page.
Well, and I'll tell you this too. So I know, so obviously, okay, the last several weeks over here has been, I'm just gonna say this, a fucking shit show. But and y'all know I don't even normally talk that
She
way.
did it. She dropped one.
But
It's recorded.
but it's been a lot, like a lot. I mean, basically my husband almost died. And so there's just been a lot through that. But at the same time, this business is what allowed me to be able to go stay with him, not have to go to the salon, not have to go, I don't know how we're going to pay that out of pocket. I don't know how we're going to do this. So I continuously posted, probably not at a high percentage rate as normal. But I posted in the stories, I posted in the feed. I think it was a picture of him and I in the hospital bed. And I said, I got paid today, like this is stuff I can do from anywhere. And there are going to be people that are going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she posted about her business while her husband was in the hospital. Well, because this is that, you know what I mean? Like this this is what we have done together for 10 years. And this allowed me to be with him. This allowed me some sanity when the doctors were saying things I didn't understand. This allowed me to go, okay, I don't care. I pay a freaking mortgage payment for health insurance, y'all. And thank you, Lavelle, that I can afford that. So like I was like, we have good insurance, whatever, so that time, these last few weeks, more than ever, I'm thankful for this business and this company. On top of that, guys, you have to remember something that I noticed while like when he was sleeping and I was scrolling and I was like, gosh, there are people that are still out there that think I'm just older. This is how I'm supposed to feel. I'm just supposed to be miserable because I'm a busy mom. I'm supposed to be that because I'm net deep in debt. One day we'll get out of debt. One day I'm like, oh my gosh, like so keep sharing because of the people that are where you were. And remember that there are so many people out there that still need to be helped that they don't know when their next crisis is. They don't know when the rug's going to be pulled out from underneath them. So like Lavelle's been there for me through a lot of things that had we not had this here, I don't know what, you know what I mean? I don't know what we would have done.
I totally just told my kids to please keep it down. I don't think I was muted. So I was like, guys, can you please keep it down? Maybe I was, maybe I wasn't. I don't know. But bouncing off what you said, yeah. So like 5 years ago, my son Chevy was in the hospital. He was having seizures. And Tony had to take off a week of work to be there with us. They were saying, liver failure, like something in his blood was coming back, like the whole nine. And so he was there and I felt guilty. I was like, how am I supposed to talk about my business right now when my baby is in the hospital? But you know what? I took a picture of Tony snuggling Chevy. He was like a year old on his chest. I had gotten paid and it was like a multiple four-figure check. And I was like, this payday is literally covering my husband's entire check for taking a week off of work. We don't have to worry about it. Bills are still paid. I was still able to get groceries for my mom who was watching my other son. And it's like that's a blessing. And so I think so often you see people go, well, I've just been busy with mom. Like, okay, share how your products are helping you. Or I'm struggling financially and I'm just like in this funk and I can't get out. Okay, well, share how the business can help people. It drives me crazy. Like, I love you guys, but if I hear one more time, I can't share until I make money, my head might explode because you're not going to make money until you share. That's
I
like,
shared when I made $24.
yes, like that's like saying, well, I'll go to the gym once I have abs, or I'll eat better once I lose weight, right? It's like, are you like what? It's like
How
the
does
math
that
is
work?
not mathing, right? And my first paycheck, okay, hear me out. My first paycheck in this whole industry, okay, in my last business was $54, and we were paid monthly. Okay, so that wasn't even a week, that was a month. And to earn that $54, I had to pay a $20 website fee and run a $100 auto ship. So I was in the red, but I was so proud of that $50. Right. And I shared because I saw the bigger vision, right? Like I may not be there right now, different vehicle, same vision. Okay. I saw the vision. I saw the women paying off the debt. I saw them earning the bonuses. I saw them walking the stage. I saw them retiring their husbands. And I wanted that. And I want to tell you guys also, like, I would love to retire my husband. He's a worker through and through. Like, he never will ever. When COVID hit, I was like, please stay home. And he was like, no. He just loves to work. But if you want to retire your husband, work for it. If you don't want to retire your husband, don't feel guilty. I had a girl on my team, her husband was home for 2 weeks with COVID, and she's like, I can't wait for him to go back to work. Like, she was like, I don't want to retire him. Like, stop working for someone else's goals.
Right.
Literally, like, you see people that are like, oh, I want the Louis bag and the trips, and I'm going to retire my husband. Don't think that you got to share that. Like, that's your goal, because then you're going to burn out because you're working for something you don't even want anyways. Right? Find
Yeah.
your goal and work for it. Who cares if you're the only one with that goal? Who cares? It's your goal. Stop working for what you think you need to have, to front on social media, or because somebody else wants to do that. That's not your goal. You're going to tire yourself out, burn out, and probably fall back from your business because you're working for something that doesn't even make you happy.
Well, yeah, like that's a big reminder. I want you to either go now or go after this Zoom is done and write down what are your personal goals. Like for me, when we started this, our office, like the wall, like our desk was up against the wall, and on our little chalkboard thing, I had all these like magnets, and it was just written on the back of envelopes, written on post-it notes. I was like, pay this bill, pay that bill, cross this off, like those were my goals. So when things were exploding here when I started, it was like, okay, I have this massive medical debt. The goal wasn't to pay the whole debt. I mean, it was, but not in the moment. In the moment, the goal was to be able to pay enough to stop the everyday freaking phone calls. Like it was because it was every day. It was, this is Amber Minquist, blah, 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 Dalton Minquist Hospital, blah, blah, blah. We need da, 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 and it was all the time. It was one doctor one day, one hospital one day, a radiologist one day, and I'm like, I don't have anybody. I can't stop calling me. So it was, how can I mentally be okay? The first goal was I needed to stop them from harassing me. And it was okay, I needed enough to pay this.
That is success too. It's so funny that you said that because people will call me or used to call me and they're like, "Is this Katie Muntz?" And I'm like, "Well, that depends on who you are." Like, I'm not sure who I am. Who are you?
Well,
But that to you was success. Like
yeah.
just stopping those calls. Amber did not sign up and go, "I'm going to be a millionaire and have this
Mm-mm.
multi-million dollar organization." Her success was getting those debt collectors to stop freaking calling. And
Yeah.
I hate the saying that like, "Oh, only 1% of people are successful." Bullshit. Like, excuse my French, but really, who
What
is
is
anyone
it?
else to define success? Yeah, I have women on our team who just want to thrive for free or who have lost weight and just feel better. And that is success. Like me, I'm going all the way, baby. Like I'm taking as many as I can with me. But if you're if you're comfortable at 4K driving for free, I'm gonna love you where you are. And that's success. That's that person's own success.
Well, and yeah, that's what I'm saying. Go write it down because, I have plenty of people on our team. They're like, I just want to pay for baseball. I just want to pay for summer childcare. Like I like my job. My husband likes his job. But I need to pay for childcare or kids camp, have a couple that like they paid for braces, and that was huge. Like just to be able to pay for braces with your side gig, like braces is not cheap. And I have a friend that she's, hey, I got to up my horse game, I'm like, great, like I go buy a horse. But what is that to you? Don't, yeah, people look and go, I want Amber's life. I want this, I want that. Well, you're 10 years into my chapters, and so don't look at your first chapter and look at my chapter 376. Like there's a whole lot through that. Were we successful quickly? Yes. But like Katie said, what was that success? Like I was so freaking happy the first time my first check was like $500. I was like, holy crap. Like that, and it just increased. But then it was, how many people are we taking with us, and when you have that, when you're helping other people and better it, and I'm not downplaying this because yes, the money in my bank account is amazing. It is awesome. I love it. I love that, what it can do and what we've been able to do with it, and the more we've been able to give and the more families we've been able to help, and there's so much with that. But the text of, oh my gosh, I just made my first common check. Oh my gosh, I didn't have to check my bank account before I went into the grocery store. Like those texts, the reminders of what this has done to people that have come in with me and after me, those are bigger. Like those mean more because I remember being at the grocery store. I remember sending the text, oh my gosh, I get to buy Quaker granola bars, not the brand or the off brand that my kids hate. Like that was a big deal. Like that was a big deal. So that's your thing. Like go write your goals down. What is it to you? Do you want to not check your bank account? Do you want to not be like, oh, I got to put this back? Like if you've ever been to the grocery store and had to put something back, raise your hand because that's a shitty feeling. So my goal is for nobody to have to do that, for nobody to have to have a bounce check fee or any of that stuff anymore. I don't know. They don't have bounce checks anymore. What is it? Returned item now, something like that. Like not to go through those things.
Yeah, and I love
That's
that with the rank advancement bonuses. I love how they've thrown in the override bonuses now, because it's like now if you want to be able to earn a bonus and it's not a rank advancement bonus, you have to help people win. You have to. Our compensation plan is set up to literally help you. It benefits you the most when you help others. The check matching, the overrides, the better your people do, the better you're gonna do. And so know your team's goals too. Like if you have one person on your team, just one, you are a leader, and know their goals, because you could actually push people away by encouraging them to work for something they don't want. Right. So like who's on here? Let's say, Esther's on here. If Esther doesn't want to be, a multi 6-figure earner and leader and this, and I'm trying to push her to do that, she's going to be overwhelmed and back away. But I want her to hit her goals. So I want to know what they are, know what people's goals are, and meet them where they're at and love them where they're at. Because I'm telling you, there's room for everybody at the top. But the people that are at the top, it's made up of a lot of people with just little goals. Just little goals, right? For every one person that you have that wants to run with this, you're gonna have 50 people who just want to live comfortably. And that's okay. You need those smaller, I hate saying little people because they're not little, they're just as important. If anything, I think they're the most important. So know those people's goals as well. That's a big one for me.
well, and I think let's kind of sit there for a second, because that is very hard for people that, and I've got some leaders on here that they're like us. They're runners. They're like, let's go, let's go, let's go, and then they
And why
have,
don't you want this?
yeah. So
Yeah.
like, let's talk about that, because it's very easy. I don't know if you have done this, Katie, but it's very easy for me to blame myself when somebody doesn't hit goal, doesn't run. Like I have these people coming in, as new promoters, and they want the success I have, and they come in and they don't even try for a VIP. And I'm like, whoa.
I'm gonna wait until my package comes in, and I'm like, but why? Why?
Like that was not the plan
I
when we
know.
first
Like,
talked
stick
about
to the
this. So one, if you haven't heard anything today, hear this. What somebody else does or doesn't do isn't on you. What somebody else does or doesn't do doesn't mean or reflect anything on you that you're not good enough. Okay? So, Katie, let's kind of just
Yeah, and I know that it's hard too, because like during rank advancement bonuses, let's be honest, your rank matters. You need the rank to earn the bonus, but bonuses are not forever. Okay. Can I say numbers on here? Am I allowed to do that? Okay.
sure.
Okay, so 2 years ago, I earned $184,000 in override bonuses. Okay, I hit 100% override. I helped 21 people, earned $184,000. You know how much money of that I see now every week? Paid out, done and gone. Okay, do you know what pays my bills now? Residual income. Residual income.
Mhm.
So right now, rank advancement bonuses, you need the rank for the bonus. I get it. I totally do. I get it. You want the rank. But any other time, I'm telling you, the best thing I ever did, okay, put this into effect May 1st when bonuses are gone. The best thing I ever did was detach myself from that. I used to define myself by my numbers. Oh, well, we lost rank, or, we're not up anything this month, or we've stagnant, or we've dropped. Like, what's wrong with me? What more can I do? And I micromanaged, right? I'm like, okay, who's doing what? Why is this person not showing up? What's that person going through? Like, how can I get this person to come back? I was trying to lead a horse to water and trying to make it drink. I was trying to revive dead people. I'm like, what's going on? Right. And my own personal business suffered. I was more focused on dragging people along than I was getting people on Thrive. And I'm telling you, I have made more money at 4K than I've made at 40K. And I've made more money at 12K. Truthfully, I've made more at 12K than I've seen at 200K. And again, I love that our compensation plan is set up because you have to help people win to make money. And so when I was making more at 12K and 40K than at 200K, it's because during those times I helped more people. Your
Mhm.
fast start bonus is the same whether you're a 2K, that's not a thing. You're whether you're a 4K or a 200K, your fast start bonus is the same. If you put a customer in the system at a brand promoter, you're making the same commission as an 80K on that same customer. Okay, go help people. Your rank you need, yes, for your rank advancement bonus, but after this, because the bonuses are not forever, ranks are not forever. pull yourself away from the numbers and just focus on helping people. I promise you, the numbers follow. The numbers
Mhm.
follow when you do that.
Well, and it is, it is stressful when, you have people that they come in and they tell you, here's what I need, here's what I want, and I'm coachable and I'm ready to run. And then they like shut the door. And you're like, no, where'd you go? Like, wait, what happened to the person I was talking to last
I
week?
had a girl sign up like 3 weeks ago and she was like, I need this the way I need air in my lungs. And where you at?
Maybe she doesn't have air in her lungs anymore.
I have rusty teeth. I don't know. Like,
Well, but that's the thing is that there's always going to be those people, and this is also, and Roxy can attest to this as well. This is where when Jason Camper said this years ago, and it resonated with me later. Like I'm glad I heard it and listened and listened and obeyed when he first said it. He was like, you always have to be in phase one. You always have to be in new growth. You're gonna have people that leave. You're gonna have people that get to the highest rank of the company and they're gonna quit or their life's gonna happen. And I remember being like, what? Like, why? Like that made no sense to me why somebody would just quit or stop working
yeah.
or, I didn't get it. But I listened and I've always been in that consistent phase of new growth. Like I'm always looking for my next thriver. And because of that, when that happened to people in my business didn't crumble, because I'm constantly adding in new people.
Yeah, I
Um,
said something too the other day. I don't remember who it was too, but I don't like the word rebuilding. I hate the word rebuilding because you should
mhm,
never stop, right? You should
right.
never like you're only rebuilding if you stop building. And
I
so
think
like
Courtney Glazier said that on a training.
maybe,
Yeah.
yeah, she said a lot of golden stuff. But the thing is too is like if you can't handle, like Amber had said, you're gonna see people that are 200Ks walking away, millionaires walking away. Newsflash, okay, they're all either on their 10th company or they're back. Okay, they've all usually come back. But if you are someone who has one person walk away, and maybe you lost $1,000 leg, or you had a couple customers shut off an auto ship, and now you're down $500 in sales. If you cannot handle that, how can you handle an $80,000 leg walking away? Oh my
Mhm.
gosh, I would fall apart, right? Like if you can't handle those little things, how would you handle a big thing? And so if you're constantly rebuilding, it's never something you should have to worry about.
Mhm. Exactly. It's kind of like, like planting seeds and gardening and all the things we're doing in the spring. Like we don't just plant once and, they just maintain themselves. Like we
Water
have
it.
to water them, sometimes, they don't come back in the spring and you have to plant new and, or you got to like give them extra attention. So it's the same when it comes to people. I will say, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure not everybody here has kids, but the thing that I have said with this business, it's very much like being a parent. Like there are times that your kids will listen to you, they'll do what you say, and most of the time they don't.
Like
Um,
99% of the
uh-huh.
time.
Yeah, and then there's those times, where your kids are like, "Well, I want this and I want that and I want to do this and I want to achieve that." And you're like, "Okay, here's what you do." And then the next day they're just playing video games. I'm like, "Well, but I thought you wanted, I don't want to do that today." Like, so it's the same with people. Okay? Um I know sometimes I feel like, gosh, and people ask a question, I'm like, I have answered this 979,000 times. I will say it again. Like, one more time. Um, but it's just because we eat, breathe, sleep this because we know and because it's truly changed our lives. And so sometimes it's hard when people don't grasp that. So you have to you can't take it personal and you can't push it on them personally either. But like Katie, like what'd you say you signed that one July? Like 40 people or something?
43.
Okay, so she was consistently sharing for 6 months. She was consistently bringing in new people, and the 1 month, 43. Do you think she was sad one of the months that she's brought in less than 43? Like, it's still new growth. It's still sometimes you have a huge thing of flowers that bloom and sometimes there's two. Like, but it's still growth. So,
And can I
okay.
share too, is like I did that on TikTok.
Mm,
That influx came from TikTok, okay? So if you're not on everything when TikTok first came out, I remember it was during COVID, everybody was bored in their house, and a girl on our team used to send me these TikToks, and I'm like, "Stupid." Like, I no, that's for, like, 18-year-olds, like, Dan Finn, like, no, I'm good. And then, she got me, I got bored one day, and I watched one, and I was like, "Oh, it's funny." Next thing you know, I'm scrolling, and I'm like, "Why am I scrolling? I'm wasting time, I could be building something here," right? And so I started sharing about my business, and every day now my goal is to get fit. FIT, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. TikTok is an untouched market. Are you joking? People are making millions of dollars on TikTok, like literally millions. I think TikTok right now is probably more influential than Facebook and Instagram. Let's be honest. Facebook is like the grandma of social media. Instagram's like your weird uncle. And then TikTok's like the fresh new thing. Like, why are we not on TikTok? So make sure that you're just getting on all those platforms and sharing. You never know. Like you just never know. And I've always brought people over to different platforms. So this was something too that's so important is following up. Like when you see something over and over again, it takes you seeing it multiple times to like express interest or following up multiple times for them to order. I want them to open their Facebook and see me. I want them to open their Instagram and see me. I want them to open their TikTok and see me. So if somebody comes to me on Instagram, I'm getting them on Facebook. Hey, add me on Facebook too. Or if someone comes to me on TikTok, I'm like, hey, are you on Instagram? Let's follow each other there because TikTok Messenger is like horrible. Hopefully they'll figure it out. But I'm like, hey, get me on Instagram. Let's talk over there. And so that way, maybe they don't open their TikTok today and they only open their Instagram. They're still seeing me. I'm still there. I'm the disease of their social media. I'm everywhere. And so multiple, it's true. Like I want them to be exposed all over. So just make sure that you're utilizing all of these platforms and sharing and getting them across all of those platforms. Even just go search them out and add them on Facebook or follow them on Instagram. That way you can connect, in multiple different areas with that. So that's something
so
that I do.
I want to touch on this because somebody said, I don't even understand TikTok. What if it goes away? What if it doesn't? Like that's the thing with Thrive. What if it doesn't work? What if it does? Like,
Let me
so don't
let me
worry
ask
about
you.
a what if.
Yeah. Let me
Um,
ask you this, Janelle. What happens if Facebook goes away?
So, and then she said, I worry I
Right?
won't be able to keep up with all the different platforms and lose track of people. So here's the deal. This is why you have a tracking system, whether it is notebook, pen and paper, whether it's files, whether it's spreadsheets, you will not lose track of people if you're tracking your people. If you have a list of who you've interacted with, who you've talked to, all the things. If you're saying, well, what if this or what if that, the I don't know the right words. Like, there's
I
because
got
the
you.
thing is, huh?
But we got it. We know what you mean.
Yeah, like don't overthink yourself out of the possibility of success. Don't overthink or what if yourself out of what you have here. And also, it's kind of like when people come in and they're like, I need to know all the ingredients. I need to know all the comp plan. I need to know all this. I'm like, no, you don't. Like you need to know that this stuff works, that you get paid in your first 2 weeks when you have friends join you. You need to know residual income is here, and we'll learn all the things as we go. Analysis paralysis is a thing, and so if you over educate yourself or over figure everything out before you even do it, you're done. Like you're paralyzing yourself from moving forward.
Yeah.
So just start somewhere, do something. Yeah, Amanda writes down what platform and where, and I will say I love what Katie said, making sure the minute you connect with them somewhere that you're connecting with them somewhere else. Hey, are you over here? This messenger doesn't work great or whatever, like because everybody knows anything could go away anytime. I mean, when Facebook was down for a day, we all freaked out. Instagram was down for a day. Like, always make sure that you have them on another platform or another way to connect. I will also say there are other platforms as well, like Snapchat. Like, I'm not a big Snapchatter, When it first came out, we used it for fun filters, right? But I know there are people, and I'm talking like successful people, like dentists and doctors and things like that, that's their main connection. And if you're looking at people, so my kids are 18 and 21. They're 18 and 21. So 18, 21 and up, they do everything through Snapchat. They don't even use text message, y'all. That everything is through Snapchat. And so like that is a whole nother plethora of people. So I'm not saying go today and overwhelm yourself with all 4 or 5, 6, whatever platforms there are, but start looking at more than just 1 or 2.
And I want to touch on that too, because the few things I wrote down is how do you keep up with all the platforms? Let me ask you this, okay? And I heard this from Jessie Lee Ward. May she rest in peace. Her Facebook disappeared. Okay, she had to fight Facebook for like a month to get it back. Do you think her business stopped? Nope, because she was on LinkedIn, she was on Instagram, she was on TikTok. If your Facebook disappeared today, because that was the thing Janelle had said. What if TikTok goes away? What if Facebook goes away? What if Instagram goes away? What Mark Zuckerberg's building a bunker? What if he takes the apps with him? Okay. Like, we don't know. And at the end of the day, nothing's promised, right? But if my Facebook disappears tomorrow, I was put in Facebook jail for 21 days because I told somebody to burn their house down because there was a spider in it. I was still enrolling. I said, catch me on Instagram. How about that? Like, I'm still gonna be on Instagram. So make sure, like, if Facebook disappears tomorrow, TikTok may go away, but Facebook may go away. Snapchat may go away. Like, we don't know. The whole social media world could go away. Do you have their phone numbers? Like Sue said, I get their name and their phone number.
Email, like guys, emails
Really?
aren't dead. Like there's a whole
No.
thing going on about utilizing email and email database and sending emails. Like I really need to jump on that. But like there's so many more ways. But it's funny you said that about the burn the house down because the spider. Like you have to watch what you say. It's so dumb. I got flagged for hate speech because I said boys are stinky.
But are you wrong?
I was like, oh my gosh, my house, the boys, they're so gross. Why are boys so stinky? I got flagged for hate speech.
Well, and that's what I'm saying though, is like your first offense is like 1 day and then 3 days and then 7 days. And I was out for 21 days and people were like, what are you gonna do? Like, well, I'm gonna build on Instagram. Like, what do you mean? What am I gonna do? Like, the answer is obvious. I'm gonna go build elsewhere. And you're not gonna get overwhelmed. I know that was a question in the chat too about like, well, how do I keep up with posting on all of them? Y'all, you don't gotta make new content for every single platform. The same thing that is my Instagram reel, is my Facebook reel, is my TikTok. Okay. Literally,
Repurpose.
yeah, I made a video in my story this morning of me mixing up my shake. I saved the video to use for a reel. I took that video. It's in my Instagram story, my Facebook story, and it's currently in my Snapchat story. And I have the video saved. I'm going to post a reel of it down the road. Okay. That one little video, I was able to post on 3 platforms and I'm going to make a reel out of it. Okay. There's an app. I know we worry about like the watermarks, right? So I'm going to put here in the chat, there's an app called Repost. So if you are saving an Instagram reel, download that Repost app. You'll be able to copy and paste your Instagram reel link into that Repost app and then download the video with no Instagram watermark. And then if you are making a TikTok video and you want to take, oh, that is not right. Do not do that one. Don't do the one I just sent. If you're on TikTok, you go to snaptik.app. Why is it sending wrong? Oh my gosh. Hang on.
While she's tapping that, I will say this too. So also, and you should be doing this anyway, because sometimes your drafts will delete themselves or things mess up or whatever, and text disappears and all the things. When everybody's gonna have a different way. I do it in Instagram first. It's just easier for me. But I do the reel in Instagram and I download it before I post it. So if you hit the down arrow, just same as you do in your stories, hit the down arrow, it's going to save the video without sound, or unless it's you talking, but without whatever music you used. But now you have your video saved. It's your video. So now you can go post over TikTok, use a different sound, use same sound, whatever, because you also want to make sure that you are using the trending sounds, not just what you saved and now you have music that's not really yours and it's posting as you. Like, you don't want to do that. So make absolute sure, I mean, not absolute, but whatever. Make sure that you're saving the video before you hit post or before you hit share. Because there's glitches, there's things and all the things. And so if you just put all this work into this video and Instagram decides to like zap it up and jack it up,
Takes all your words away.
you gotta start all over. Like,
Yeah.
then you're pissed and you're discouraged. So save it first, and then you can go easily post that video everywhere.
Something that I learned too is if you are on TikTok, I don't spend a lot of time scrolling. Like, I'm not a big consumer of content, but I do want to be aware of what is trending. So if you go through your TikTok and you see a trending sound or a trending audio, this is actually like I don't know if it's been like proven, but like to my knowledge, it's very accurate. When you see a trend on TikTok, it's about 15 to 30 days behind from being a trend on Instagram. So if you see a trend on TikTok, be one of the first ones to get that trend up on Instagram, right? So I do that also. There's a lot of stuff that will be trending on TikTok, and I'm like, before it gets to Instagram, I want to be one of the first ones to use that
Yeah.
sound.
And then same with Instagram to Facebook. Facebook is way delayed, even though they're owned by the same. So it's kind of that same theory. But just pay attention. But just go do something. Go try something. Go do something. Write down your goals of what are some things that you want to do, and go 30 days, 3 months, 6 months. Like, where can you be consistent? Like, don't overset. Like, if you are barely posting one reel a week right now or every 2 weeks, don't make the goal of I'm going to post a reel every day. Like let's see, what can you do? What can you do to not overwhelm yourself, to not burn out yourself? Hey, posting stories every day. Can I do a reel every other day? Can I do, and then increase as it's easy for you? Because think of a runner. They don't immediately, it's not couch potato to marathon. It's couch potato to 5K, then to half a marathon, then to marathon. You don't just never run in your life and walk out the door and go run a marathon. Like, you start slowly building and growing, and you're consistent about it. You start with a mile, and like, don't burn yourself out because you tried so hard so fast.
And reels don't have to be difficult too. Like, when reels first came out, like, people were learning the dances. Y'all remember, like, I'm a savage. Like, I still remember that dance, okay? Or the one where you're like, right, we were learning dances and you had to like practice this to like get it like on point, right? But reels now, people are literally just taking a video of them walking down the road. Like, I took a reel the other day. I'm literally sitting at my desk on a Zoom talking. Like, I'm not doing anything fancy, and I'm putting some text over it about my business, right? Or then I'm making my caption about my business or my products. I'm not out here learning some special dance. I'm not doing anything fancy. I mean, look at people. Lynn's Coggin, yeah, she did like a video of her kids walking down the sidewalk, like nothing. She's talking about how she stays home with her kids. She never misses a moment. That's not even fancy. Just find a video in your camera roll and use it. Take a video of your kids and use it. Take a video of yourself walking and use it. Like, you don't gotta be fancy. You really don't. You stop
Don't overthink it.
like, stop overthinking it for real. And the thing too is like, you not sharing today, like, only like 2% of your friends will see your stuff. Like, I have 5,000 friends on my Facebook. On a good day, my reel will get like maybe 2,000 views. Where's the other 3,000 at? Like, I don't know, right? Maybe they're not on that day, but maybe they're going to be on tomorrow. So if I don't share tomorrow, they're not going to see it. And
Yeah.
you could be one person away. Like, you're like, oh, I don't want to get on TikTok. I'm too scared of TikTok. I don't want to do lives. I'm too scared of lives. Maybe your next 200K only consumes video content. I have never gotten off a live, and I'm not exaggerating. I've never gotten off a live and not had a new conversation. Never. Now, mind you, I'm not going live like, this is my DFT, and it helps me feel good. They're gonna be like, where? What? Because you don't look like you feel very good. I am excited. I am passionate. I might not even know what I'm talking about, but they don't know that. Like, you can convince anybody of anything if you're excited enough. I told someone the other day, I was like, I will believe anything if you sound convicted. Like, if you sound like you know what you're talking about, I believe you. Right? It was Dana Chuva. I was talking to her. She said something so wrong, and I believed it for a second. I'm like, you got me questioning it. Like your delivery was so good. So just show up and be excited. Like you don't need to know all the ingredients. You don't need to know every plus line product. You don't need to know the entire comp plan. You know what I know? I know that the products make me feel damn good. I know that we have amazing VIP bonuses. I know that we have daily bonuses. I know that our weekly pay and our free products is unmatched, untouched, uncomparable in every single way. I was just talking to Haley about this morning. She was like, Thrive is like nothing I've ever seen in my life. And I said, I know it's great. And I'm confident about that. I could sell ice to an Eskimo because I'm confident about it, right? And so when you're going live, be that. Like if you gotta borrow my energy, borrow my energy.
Mhm.
Tony, it's so funny because Tony will literally put on Ice Baby and dance around the kitchen to like get himself like ice, baby, because he's so mellow. If you've ever met Tony, he's just chill. But to get excited, he does that. So, what do you guys do to get excited? Have a dance party with your kids in the kitchen, run around your house a couple times. Like just pump yourself up, and then hit the live button and be excited. People feed excitement off of excitement. And like I said, I mean, you could literally not know what you're talking about. Please know a little bit, but you could literally know, like, you don't have to know everything. And people are going to go, oh man, like, I want whatever she's on. I want to feel that good. I
Mhm.
want that energy. I want those daily bonuses. I want to win with her. And so every time I get off of a live, I have a new conversation. Don't be afraid of that because growth never happens in your comfort zone. Your muscles have to tear to grow. So do you.
I love that. I didn't understand that saying years ago. Like I just didn't. And like, everything that has made me a better person was hard. Like I did it scared. I did it thinking I couldn't do it, like you just you just never know. But stop counting yourself out and get out there. When Jason was in the hospital, Carson, his dirt bikes still needed the shocks added. Y'all, I'm not a motorcycle mechanic. Like I'm not. And so, but we figured out how to do it. Like we had Jason on FaceTime and Carson and I basically were rebuilding his dirt bikes. Like, it was like, but I never questioned, I never thought, well, I can't do that. Sorry, you can't go train today. No, like you just figure it out. And that's kind of that everything is figure outable, you just figure it out. I had a friend reach out to me after I posted about doing that, and she's like, oh my gosh, like I've always admired you as a boy mom, and she's a boy mom. She does a lot of things. And she's like, but I could never, I definitely wouldn't have been able to do that. I would have just like sat down and cried. I'm like, no, you wouldn't have. You would have figured it out. Like but that's the thing is in your business, in your life, in your mamahood, all the things, you just figure it out. Like stop talking yourself out of things. Start just figuring it out. Fell forward. Like just do it.
Just do it.
Okay. Any last things for it's April 2nd? We've got, oh, you know what? I did want to say this because I wanted to go back to what you said at the beginning about the momentum from the end of the month. Guys, I see people run so hard and so fast the last week of the month, or they message the end of the month. They're like, oh, what am I going to do? I'm this far away. I'm like, where you been all month? Like, don't be that person. Start running now. Because what if you ran as hard now on April 2nd as you do April 28th or, March 28th? What if you ran as hard, as fast, committed, but wrote the goals, figured out exactly what you needed to end April where you want it and actually put in the work? You would end April further than you ever expected.
Work every single day like it is the last day of the month. Literally every single day. Every day I'm $500 away from my goal. Or you know what? There's daily bonuses. Every day we're $400 away from our goal. Go get that $400.
Right.
Go get it.
And then help those new people get their new people.
Yep.
All right, Amanda, you got any last minute?
I do. I was dying over here, so I wrote it down so I didn't forget. Okay, you'll be proud. The question with people like being overwhelmed with different platforms, first and foremost, I'm going to tell you, I've been in this for 11 years now, and it's always going to be changing. It's always going to be switching up. You're going to hear things about algorithm this, algorithm that. Let me tell you something. Focus on connecting with people and being intentional, and that'll be your solution every time. Staying consistent, intentional, and connecting. And that's the key. And then ultimately, at the end of the day, you're making your work more effective and more efficient if you are writing down where you're meeting people from, right? So just like repurposing your content, you're starting a conversation, pull out your notebook, write down their name or their username, what platform they're on. Now, when you're on Instagram, you're going to go and interact with that person instead of just scrolling through Instagram. Now, when you're on TikTok, you're going to be more intentional on interacting with that person. Now, when you're on Facebook, you're going to be more intentional with interacting. Your follow-up list is who you should be interacting with mostly, and trying to make not like obviously overbearingly and like creepy, like just liking a million posts or anything. Don't be that person, from 2 years ago or something, commenting and liking on everything. But what I'm saying is it's going to make your actions more intentional. And then last thing I'm going to say is learn something new every day that's going to help better you in your business. And I'm not talking about spend all day on it. I'm saying give yourself 10, 15 minutes in your personal development time or whatever to help you be more organized, help you be more effective on your call to actions or your hooks or whatever it may be. And it's going to help your business be more intentional. And the reality is, guys, this is a business. So you've got to work it into your day. What is your business plan? What is your business plan? Whether you have an hour to work it, 2 hours to work it, 3 hours, 15, 20 minutes some days, whatever it is, just be effective and set yourself up for success. So if you don't have as much time one day, make your list a little bit smaller that you can get done. And then on the days that you maybe have a little bit more time, that's when you're going to be able to be a little bit more aggressive, but set yourself up for success each day and, celebrate the small wins along the way. All right, I'm done. Happy payday.
I love it. I love it. Celebrate the small wins along the way. Guys, every win is a win. Doesn't matter how big, how small, something that you got that you didn't get before, celebrate it. Okay, happy payday. Go make a post. Bye.